Damn it. This comes up a lot, and obviously what I'm doing is a lot. There's not much reaction. There's not much reactivity for what I'm doing. A lot of what I'm doing is planned ahead of time because I know how the AI behaves. I know what I need to do to actually beat it. Jump! QE, 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 QE. So that's Cyrax's combo that I'm doing against Shao Kahn. Specifically on Shao Kahn, on Revision 1.0, with a lot of characters, not with all, doesn't work with all, but with a lot of characters, if you got the full combo, which with Cyrax I believe it's just high punch, high kick, high kick, high punch, high kick, or something like that. But if you just mash, if you just do 2 high punches and then mash high kick and high punch together, that's why QE, 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 it does the full combo regardless. And basically with a lot of characters, if you have a full combo that's really long like that, it pushes him back to a range where he will, like, 80, let's say maybe 70 or 80% of the time he's going to do a fireball. And if you get the combo right, he does the fireball, you jump over, do another combo, push him back, he does a fireball again, you can put him into a loop doing that. Anyway, so that's what I was doing against Shao Kahn. For the basic strategies against all the main characters, I'll just do a quick overview of what I use as mostly my no major exploits route. For a lot of characters. It's always to some extent this. There are variations depending on the character, variations depending on which opponent you play against. But I'll start off, I'll continue with Cyrax because you saw me doing Cyrax. I'm going to end the recording. I'm going to reset that. And first of all, you're going to want this. We need to have it on very hard because that is important to actually exploiting the AI. You want to be playing from player 2 side instead of player 1 side. When you play on player 1 side, the AI starts downscaled. It starts on a lower difficulty setting. That makes it harder to play against. That sounded backwards, right? Very hard is the easiest way to play the game. If I put it on very easy, it's the hardest way to play the game. And the reason being is because the AI is going to try its best to try and cheat you. Right? It was going to do... Wasn't there a Mortal Kombat port that was missing low punch or something? I think you mean Mortal Kombat 2 on the Genesis. Crouching low punch would not do his crouching low punch, it would do an uppercut. Anyway, that's something else. Anyway, back to this. When the AI is on its hardest difficulty setting, it will try consistently to cheat you, right? But because it's trying to cheat you, it's reacting to everything that you do and doing something in response. You can then plan ahead and know what it's going to do in response to what you're going to do, right? Remember that, because that way we know that if the AI is always going to respond some way, we can then try to figure out something we can do against that. Only the largest brains can run your MK3. Well, maybe only the largest brains can figure it out. I'll teach it to everybody who wants to learn. Right? So I'll do Cyrax, but a lot of this can be done with a lot of characters, this exploit that I'm going to show you now. So we're going to start off against Scorpion. I'm going to create a save state here. Right? So now what I'm going to try to do, I'll show you right now. Remember what I said about the AI trying to always react to what you're doing. If you start the round, or if at any point you try to jump over the enemy, assuming he doesn't do an open jump kick or he does a projectile, that's based on luck. So there's a couple of things he could do here. He could do a jump kick, he could do a projectile, he can do a teleport punch because specifically it's Scorpion, or he can just stand there and try to counter me. But what will happen is if he doesn't do a projectile or teleports, and I try to jump over, he's going to run up, he's going to do a very short run, and then immediately do a jump kick to counter me, right? So you can see like this, and it's 100%. The AI will never do anything else. Well, apart from jumping, but still, you know, he's going to try and counter me. You know, I know that the AI is going to do that. So what happens if I try to do something when I jump in? So I do a jump kick instead to try and counter this jump kick he's doing, right? Now this works with a lot of characters. Yeah, see, the AI is a dirty cheater. The AI has a preset response to everything that I'm doing, right? I'm going to try and use that to my advantage now. I know this works. It works almost 90%, but this specific exploit that I'm about to do is very, very tricky because you've got to time your kick exactly right. You can't press kick when you're leaving the ground. You can't press kick. If you press kick a little bit too late, you're going to get hit by that jump kick. So you see that. right? The timing of the kick has to be absolutely perfect, right? So that's, if you wanted to, you could probably get through the whole game just doing that. But as you can see, sometimes he reacts a little bit differently. Right? So let's try this again. So see how he does a block there? That happens if you do your kick just a little bit too late. It's a little bit frustrating because some characters, it depends on the character's jumping arc and the character's jump kick hitbox as to how well the enemy reacts. Some characters have it like almost 100%. The female ninjas are really good at this trick. Actually, the male ninjas are also pretty good at this trick. So for the most part, this strat will work on a lot of the enemies. It doesn't work on everybody. There are a couple of exceptions. Liu Kang, Jax, Sindel, and Nightwolf are the main ones that come to mind. There is also Smoke and Sector. They're a little bit different, but it does actually still kind of work. It just needs to be adjusted. You kind of got to double react, basically. But anyway, I'll show you what I do after this. So the reason why I'm having such an easy time beating the AI is because that's one exploit, right? I'm actually using 2 exploits with this strat. So what I'm now going to show you, I'm going to make another exploit here, actually. So another save state, because he's sitting still, which is really good for me to show this. Right. Watch what happens when I try to run up and jump at close range, right? Okay, no, that's too far away. I need to get really close. No, unfortunately, he's going to react. There we go. That's what I want to see. That standing high kick. That standing high kick is also another 100% trigger. It always happens when you are really close and then try to jump over them, right? It's always going to try and react to that standing high kick. Right? Now, what I'm going to do is a little bit of a trick, right? I'm going to put the AI into a state where he can't react with the standing high kick. And what's going to happen is it's going to queue up that standing high kick until he finishes what he's done. In specific, I'm going to knock him to the ground, run up and get to that range, jump over him. It's going to cause him to try to do the standing high kick, but he has to finish a couple of frames of his knockdown animation first. When he finishes knockdown animation, he'll get up and do the standing high kick, but it's going to miss because I'm going to jump over him. Right. So let's go back to this save state here. Right, we want to get it. We want to get that knockdown that I got. There we go. And then we see that. That was it. That was it. He kicked and he kicked the air, completely missed everything. Right. Let's try and get it again. So there we go. Now, in this brief window where he does the standing high kick, he's open to a jump in punch combo. Right. So now it's basically. Okay, so I actually got the combo off there, but I went a little bit too far, and my jumping punch missed him. I want to run a tiny little bit shorter than that. So the amount that you run after you jump kick really matters a lot. You can run a little bit too far, you can run too short. Okay, see, that was running too short. Yeah, no, didn't get it. Come on. There we go. There we go. There's the combo, and we can just repeat that. Okay, I messed up the combo on the second one, but you know what I mean. There's another exploit there that works. So you saw how I jump kick him, he blocks. Then when I do nothing, he does a vertical jump. That's another exploit. It's not exactly 100%, especially on round 1. Round 1, there's like a more of a chance of him not reacting to it because it's still on a lower difficulty setting because it's round 1. When you get to round 2 and round 3, the AI is scaled up to maximum and then it would work from there on. But that's kind of a backup. You know how sometimes when you do the jump kick, he does the block? If I do the jump kick after knocking down and he does the block, I'll land on him and hit him with the jump kick. And then a lot of the time, not all the time, he will do a vertical jump kick. And then when he does that, you can then do something when he lands, or you can punch him out of the air and punish him for that. Where's the pork chops? Thanks for the follow, dude. Book of stream. But that's something that comes up as an opportunity. I don't really trigger that. I go for the jump kick out of the air and then jump over, get the standing high kick combo off that. If he blocks, and then I go for the... if he blocks, then he goes into the air vertically, then I can catch him on the ground with a punch combo, and then go into run, and then another combo. Let's try again. Getting the perfect timing for it can be very tricky. I don't think it's actually frame perfect, but it might be close to it. That situation there, the only reason he didn't do the vertical jump kick in that position is because it's on round 1. Normally, round 2, round 3, or round 4 and onwards, he would actually do a vertical jump, and then you can punch run combo from that point. And it would have been really good. But round 1, it's kind of really annoying. There's a lot more RNG on round 1. Nope. Okay, something else. And this is actually a really common exploit that works on a lot of characters. In fact, the best way to use this, the original strategy that pretty much everybody used with smoke is what we call the smoke throw strat. And basically what people would do is would do a jump back exploit that would trigger the AI to do a projectile, and then they'd respond with a teleport uppercut, and then jump kick throw, and then do it again, and do it again, do it again. Something that works, unfortunately, is on Scorpion. Hold on, I'll get to the next stage to show you the guys this. So another exploit that you can do. Come on. There's the vertical jump that I was talking about. So I got lucky there; it actually happened. Even though it's on round 1. Good. Ah, come on. There we go. That standstill, once again, that was round 1. That was because it's round 1 AI. Right, let's just... There we go. Okay, Sub-Zero is another... So Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Jade... No, not Jade. Sub-Zero, Liu Kang, Jax, Nightwolf, and Sindel. Sub-Zero is another one that is different. That needs to be treated differently. So what happens with Sub-Zero is when you jump in, he always does this ice shower. Now, you can just cheese out... this works with every character if you want. You can cheese out Sub-Zero by just jump kicking him. What I like to do with Cyrax is go one jump kick and then into a combo. And then jump kick and then into a combo. And when you're in the corner, you can vertical jump. Sometimes you can get a combo out of that. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not 100%. But there we go. And if you do that perfectly, it's a little bit faster than doing just jump kicks. It's always good to note that if you take one hit from the enemy, it's usually good because you're gonna miss out getting a flawless victory, and that is good for speedrunning because the flawless victory takes time. Well, I could have easily finished that. Anyway, the other thing that I was going to show was the jump back exploit. That's what I was going to show. This works good on Katana. So if I do a jump back, right? So okay, so if let's save on that state because she's in neutral. Right. So if I do a jump back and then do a kick in the air, it's going to trigger her to do a projectile. Right, and that's pretty much... It's not 100%, but it's like 90%. Right? So what I can do is I can do jump back and then press a kick in the air to make it to a projectile, but then the moment that I land, I'm going to do back low kick to do a net. And that's going to... The projectile's going to hit me, which again is good because I'm not going to get a flawless victory. It's going to save time. And then the net should pretty much trade with her projectile, but my net is going to catch her, whereas her fan is going to just go off and do nothing. And then I can punish from here. And you can do that to almost everybody. You can't do it to Scorpion, which is why I didn't show you on Scorpion. If you try to do it on Scorpion, you actually will trade. The spear will get you, and you'll get the net, but the spear will still pull you to him, whilst the net pulls him to you. You meet each other in the center, and the net runs out before the spear dizzy effect does, and then he still kills you. This is pretty much the ABC exploit of the game, and it's what a lot of people used from the beginning. It's pretty much the main thing that everybody knew about this game. Jax, again, is a little bit different. When I try to do a jump kick on Jax, instead of trying to jump counter me, he's going to try and run underneath me and then jump behind me. If I do this right, I'll get him with my butt, basically. I'll do a butt stomp on him. Okay. Unfortunately, it's not working. I was able to get it before. I'm not sure why. Maybe it doesn't work with everyone. There we go. That's what I was looking for. And if you get that butt stomp, you can then cross-up jump him for a combo. This works, or it does work on Jax if you can get it. Unfortunately, Cyrax specifically doesn't have the jump kick hitbox that makes it consistent. But it still works on Kung Lao and Cyrax, the mirror match as well, I believe. And you can always do the jump back explode on Jax as well. Nope. So you notice there, I was able to pick him out of the air as he landed. It's kind of like a common rule that when somebody lands next to you, you can actually start punching them, provided you don't get hit by their jump kick or jump punch. That was just blind luck. He should have blocked that. There's like a very small percentage chance that they just take projectiles, but it's so small that you don't want to play around it. And I got super lucky there. Alright, so against Cyrax, there we go. This is the butt stopper strat that I was talking about. It works better on Cyrax, but as you can see, it's still not 100%. This strat I would normally do more on Katana. It doesn't seem as reliable on Cyrax. There we go. So that's more or less what you're supposed to do with that butt stomp strat. And that is a route that will work on Jax, it'll work on... Well, depending on who you're playing as, it'll work on Jax, it'll work on Cyrax, it'll work on somebody else. It does. I know it works on Shiva sometimes, but it's very rare to get it working on Shiva. Smoke and Sector. Smoke and Sector behave exactly the same. So because Smoke and Sector both have the teleport uppercut, the moment you try to jump in, assuming he doesn't try to go invisible. If he goes invisible, then I can catch him with a jump kick. But if he doesn't go invisible, he's always going to teleport uppercut in response. Like this. And they just go teleport days. Teleport for days. So, one thing I like to do... Now, notice... Keep an eye on how high he comes up, because this is something that's very weird with Smoke and Sector. It's exactly the same with both of them. For some reason, they can do a short... teleport uppercut, or they can do a long teleport uppercut. This is not like a part of... It's not something you can do as a player. It's something that only the AI can do. I don't know why. But see how low he is? Alright, I'm going to take a few hits, and we're going to reduce his... See how high... So see how high he was then. Take a look again. So... Try to remember that height. See, now he's higher. After you've taken a certain amount of damage, the amount of height that gets added to the teleport uppercut gets more and more. I don't know why they did this, but it's like... It changes what you can do, right? So, one of the ways that I exploit this teleport uppercut trick is to do a standing high kick when he gets to a certain amount of height. So, watch this. I do this, jump over, and then do a standing high kick, and then I try to jump in. Okay, I got really lucky here. Normally he's got enough time to block. Let's try this again. There, so you can see that he got out of it because he does the low uppercut, and so now he's doing the high one. Watch this. More than enough time to jump in and combo. So when you know there's that difference with that teleport, so he went straight to the high one there, probably because I already took a hit, and now I can just do that trick twice. So there's kind of a weird thing with Smoke and Sector where you want to take a hit or do a little bit of damage, progress the fight in some way so that he gets into that high teleport mode, and then you can do that trick really easily. The other thing that I can do to Smoke is when he does the teleport, catch him when he lands with a punch string. And you can do that to him as well. And both of those tricks... Okay, so the punching trick... Sorry, both of these tricks work with a lot of characters, but not all. I gotta take some damage. Pretty sure it's got something to do with how much damage you take. I still don't know exactly what it is, really. I know that there is some way to make him so that he goes straight into the higher version. But it looks like I managed to progress all the way to the end of the fight without him going high. Okay, there we go. Now we got the high one. I had a feeling Cyrax might win that one. Yeah. Your niece and nephew says hi. Hi! Sorry, yeah. I got carried away with my explanations. But anyway, so yeah, there's pretty much a lot of the strats that I'm doing. One more strat that I'll talk about. It's probably best shown on Shiva, actually, because I do it a lot on Shiva. It works on Sindel and Nightwolf as well. It's crucial on Sindel and Nightwolf, but it's also pretty good on Shiva as well. And that is the Kara Punch Leapfrog. So I'll show you that now. So, yet another AI trigger exploit. When you run up and you try to punch the AI, just at close range, what it's going to do a lot of the time, sometimes I might take one or two punches, but what it's going to do a lot of the time is try to sweep you in response. So, like that. So what you can do in response to that is you can actually block whilst you're punching. So if you press punch and then immediately press block and then down, you will actually, you'll be in a crouched blocking state even though you're still punching. And what that'll do is it'll mean you'll actually block the sweep. And then after you block the sweep, you have to immediately let go of block, and then you can do something in the recovery frames of her sweeping animation. So there. See how I blocked it? Right. What I'm going to do here is what I call the Kara Punch Leapfrog, which is a strat that I come up with. The Kara Punch in itself is actually a known strat, and it's been used in the PvP scene for UMK3 for decades. It's also known as the glitch jab. I've heard it called a number of other things. I've been calling it the Kara Punch strat because the people that taught it to me were like Speed and Ineric, other speedrunners that have been running this game. And they taught me this trick. I learnt this trick from them. And basically they've been calling it the Kara Punch, and so I've been calling it the Kara Punch. But yeah, like I said, other people have called it other things. I've heard it called glitch jabbing or glitch punching as well. But the idea is you put yourself into a blocking state whilst you're punching. Anyway, so the idea, what I did was I took this strat and then I actually evolved it a little bit specifically for speedrunning. It's not something that they would do in PvP, but in speedrunning, because the AI acts a certain way, I figured out that if you do a Kara Punch and then immediately jump over, depending on your very precise distance on where you took the Kara Punch, you have to take it at the very edge of the sweep. You can jump over them and then they are going to jump over you in response. And then you can punish them when they land on the other side. Okay, you've got to punch. You got to jump immediately after. There we go. So yeah, and that's what we call the Kara Punch Leapfrog. Also the bunny hop. Also just Kara leaping. Whatever you want to call it. I guess the name is still in progress, work in progress. But I've just been calling it the Kara Punch Leapfrog or Kara Leap. There's two ways you can exploit this against the AI. One is you can do what I just did, which is probably the most effective, but it's a little bit difficult because you have to start punching exactly on the frame that they land next to you. Something else you can do is you can do a double leapfrog, which is you jump twice, and then you start comboing on the cross up on the other side. I messed up the combo there, but we'll do it again. And the benefit of that which I have used in some places, but unfortunately the situations where I used it have now been obsoleted by another strat. And that was specifically on the katana no major exploits route. The benefit of that is that you will reverse and push them in the other direction. If you have a character that's doing a long pushing combo, like Katana does, when you do Katana's repeat jump in fan chop chop combo, you can push them all the way to the corner. And if you do the punch punch string combo with Katana, you'll end up pushing them to the corner before you actually kill them. So what I figured out is you can do a double leapfrog and then push them in the other direction. You'll have more distance and you'll kill them before they get to the corner. So that was one situation where the double leapfrog was better, but then we obsoleted it with a different strat later down the line, which is a specific thing with Katana, which I won't go into now. I might go into it later if I do some Katana runs. But yeah, that is pretty much it. The other reason to do a double leapfrog is because double leapfrogging is a lot easier to do. So if you're a little bit more of a noob and you just want to get that, you figured out how to do the Kara punch. Single leapfrog, but you can't get the timing right for doing the punch when they land, the flurry punch when they land, then you can do a double leapfrog and do a combo on the other side, which is so much easier. But to be fair, just getting this strat down is actually really difficult in the first place. That's probably the hardest thing to do. One of the hardest things I've had to learn for this. Oh, and something else to note about this is that there's two ways to do this. So there's two ways to do the Kara punch. One is to do a flurry of punches and then immediately block when they sweep. The other is to get them into a neutral state where they're actually standing around doing nothing, run up and do a single punch, and then crouch. So if I just, I'll just wait, so there we go. And then you can just single punch. Okay, didn't quite get it there. You've got to get the timing exactly right. There it is. So single punch. Or you can do lots and lots of punches. I found doing the flurry Kara punch a lot harder to do than the single punch. I learned the single punch one first. That was with smoke, where we actually don't do the jump. You actually do a single Kara punch into spear, which is actually one of the world record optimal strats for the smoke standard run, where you go Kara punch, spear, high punch trick. Now that's the main category. What do they call pounds in Australia, as in dollars? We call them dollars. Literally, audio face, we call them dollars. Yep, Australian dollars. But we don't say Australian dollars in Australia. We will say Australian dollars on the internet because people will probably think they're American dollars if we don't say otherwise. But in Australia, we just call them dollars. Yeah, that's largely what I do for a lot of my no major exploits runs. With every character, they all use some amount of this in some degree. Some of it works better with some characters than others. Some of it works better against some characters with others. There's a lot of stuff to take into account. You're talking like hitboxes of jump punch or jump kick animations, hitbox compatibility with one character to another character. As in we call soccer soccer. Yes, we call soccer soccer. We don't call soccer football. But yeah, we call soccer soccer. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's probably more stuff to discover. But yeah, that is by and large what a lot of my strategies are for all the no major exploits run. They're going to use those strats in some degree. But yes, but you have to keep in mind that there are hitbox compatibility issues depending on who you use and who you're playing against. Sometimes you've got to come up with an alternate strat. Especially with Kung Lao, I noticed he's probably the worst offender of that. Kung Lao, a lot of it doesn't work, except for maybe the Kara Punch Leap on specifically Nightwolf and Sindel. A lot of the jump punch, jump kick stuff doesn't work. Yeah. But all of this, me playing all these individual characters, has been very interesting to find out how this stuff works and when it does, when it doesn't work. Whoops. And yeah, and that's basically Mortal Kombat speedrunning in a nutshell. Now bring home the win, yeah. Hopefully you do.